Hi guys, Steph here, and what we've got is yet another gorgeous pen for you. Do you recognise it? Of course you can. We've got an absolutely gorgeous Conway Stewart fountain pen. This particular one being the Conway Stewart number 58. Now the Conway Stewart 58s, they were, if you like, one of the top of the ranges within the Conway Stewart of that particular period, and the period being around about 1950s. Now there was only one model above this one. I believe it was actually the Conway Stewart 100, but as I say, the 58 in my opinion was, if you like, sort of the top of the range again within that period. They came in lots and lots of different colours. Obviously the sort of quite sought after cracked eyes, tiger eye pattern, obviously all different kinds of marbles. They came in the hatch patterns, too many to mention. So what we've got here is a lovely classic black Conway Stewart 58. The size of this pen from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, 130mm capped. Around the barrel it's a lovely chunky 12mm in diameter, and as you can see it comes with these three cap bands. You've got two narrow bands with a slightly thicker band in the middle to the bottom of the cap there. To the top of the cap, very recognisable, we've got the Conway Stewart diamond clip, and then if we take you to the top there, we've got this sort of slightly conical cap stud. This one's black, although I believe some of them actually do wear the stud is actually aluminium, so you can see this one still retains the blackness. Now this conical stud there sort of complements, if you like, the end of the barrel there. You can also see it's slightly conical to the end of the barrel. You can see it's got well, again, a very recognisable Conway Stewart clip there, and if you look very closely to the end of the clip, again you can see the Conway Stewart logo. Now if we show you the barrel imprint, let's keep it nice and still for you. This particular model it actually reads Conway Stewart 58, and then underneath it's got made in England. So the fact that the Conway Stewart and the number is actually on the same line indicates to me that this is a later version. I believe the earlier versions, the number 50 was actually below the Conway Stewart itself. So all in all, an absolutely stunning example. As always, well, it came to me a little bit tired. I've disassembled it, new sack, totally restored it, and it's come out absolutely stunning. Let's undo the cap, which as you can see is a screw-on cap. Let's give you a little bit of a twirl, show you different angles. Again, an absolutely beautiful pen, and a lovely, in my opinion, a nice chunky pen as well. If we take you to the section, you can see it's got a slight taper to this little ridge towards the nib there. Now if I show you the nib and keep it nice and still, what we've got here is the Conway Stewart Duro nib, obviously 14 carat, made in England, and with this particular nib it has the number 58 to the bottom of the nib, so indicating it's the correct nib for this particular pen. The Duro nibs, once again, were, if you like, they were only used for the top of the line Conway Stewart pens of that particular period. So with it being a Duro nib, it's the correct nib for this particular pen. Let's give you a sideways view. Again, absolutely stunning. And if we show you the feed underneath, again the very sort of recognisable standard Conway Stewart feed underneath. As you can see, lovely and clean as well. So all in all, an absolutely beautiful example, and as I say, a lovely, comfortable, chunky pen to actually use. Well, as it says, to use. I know there's you people out there that like to see the pens working, so we've actually restored it, so let's test it while we're here. Okay, and I don't know if you could actually see that, but there was lots of bubbling going on in the ink, so let's just give it a wipe with my tissue. So with the fact that it's bubbling, everything looks to be hunky-dory. Let's bring on a piece of paper and let's see how the pen writes. Again, first time it's been tested since I've restored it, so you're seeing basically what I see. So what we have is a Conway Stewart. As we mentioned, this one is a Conway Stewart number 58. First impressions, you can see it's writing with a lovely fine line. It's very nice writer too. Let's just see if there's any bit of flexibility. So what I'm doing is I'm applying a bit of pressure on the downward stroke. So well, as you can see there, very slight flex in it, just a slight variation in the line, but I wouldn't consider it to be a flexy nib. As we said, we're dating it to the 1950s, and it being one of the top of the range of that period within the Conway Stewart pen range. So there you go, there's a writing sample, writing with a fine line, lovely writer. I wouldn't call it a flexible nib, although there's some slight variation with pressure, but nice and simply I would term it as being a fine nib. As I say, writes absolutely lovely, as it should. So there we have it. Let's pop the cap back on like so, screw it back on. So all in all, the Conway Stewart number 58, absolutely stunning example in this gorgeous classic black with this complementary gold filled trim, which works beautifully with the black, I believe. Well, I personally believe it to be an absolutely gorgeous pen. So there we have it. So what we need to do now is just find a nice home for it. I'm sure somebody will actually love this particular pen, so what I'm going to do is go and have a look and find a home for it. Don't be shy, leave a comment just down below there. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen as much as I enjoy showing them to you people. But for now, I'll just say bye bye now.